not only is my work kind of wrestling with the past and photographic history and environmentalism, preservation, but also with identity and thinking about how identity plays this part in my work. And I kind of started to understand that I'm queering the landscape. And that became this kind of term that I started talking a lot about and thinking a lot about. I found this way to make these really saturated, beautiful colors, and I hung them all up, and they became my palette. I still have them, I still work with them. And that's about, almost 20 years ago. The color itself is in many ways, to me, this kind of, I could say it's like a mourning and it's grief through these places, but the color is optimistic because there's beauty in the world still, and even if it's deteriorating before our eyes, that you should enjoy it while you can, and I think my work kind of brings people to that place. For me, my work is a spiritual practice, and I think that my own kind of spiritual awakening kind of happened in the color darkroom because I was left alone with myself in the dark for hours on end. And it's such a private, solo practice. And also taking landscape photographs, at least the way I do it, is also a very kind of solo meditative practice. Like, it doesn't really involve anyone else but my own kind of communion with the natural world. So in many ways, the pictures themselves are, for me, they feel like pieces of my soul. I really believe that there's a transference of energy with art making. So November of 2024, I went to Antarctica. It was unbelievable. It was the most beautiful place I've ever been. Antarctica is, constantly evolving. Because it's mostly ice. It's the only place that I've, in 1 minute, looked out from the deck of this ship and said, this is the most beautiful place I've ever seen, and then had tears in my eyes because it's the most heartbreaking place I've ever experienced, because I'm looking at the ice itself changing. And I feel like the pictures here begin to grapple with it through kind of, the color. So for me, it felt like, wow, this is like a huge opportunity to be able to go and see this before it's all melted and before it's all gone. But at the same time, it's kind of beautiful as an artist to be able to bring others to that place and see it. And hopefully it has an impact on understanding where we're at, as a culture, and where we're at as a society, and where the world is going.